travelers, and luxury destination adventurers. It's now time to enjoy the journey on Enjoy the Journey with David Hartman and guests. And now, here's David Hartman.
In the Keys.
5 o'clock, we're live. Greetings from paradise. Welcome to the Enjoy the Journey luxury travel show from the Bog Pub in Rain Barrel Village in the beautiful Florida Keys. A very special welcome to the RadioA1A and Cruisin' Country radio listeners and our A1A media affiliates, podcast partners, and live streaming viewers around the world. I'm your host, David Hartman, owner of Fantastic Endeavors Travel Agency. I'm the travel agent that always asks two questions. What is your bucket list trip? And where do you wish you were right now? I bet you all wish you're right here in the Florida Keys with my guest Cathy, we're going to talk to soon, from Atlas Ocean Voyages, and having a wonderful fresh coconut from the Bug Pub. I see you have a great studio audience today. Welcome our studio audience. We got many fans restreaming our show. We appreciate that. But stay tuned with us for the next little time as we talk about Lux Expeditions and Cruising. We're talking about the Bug Pub and dining here in the Florida Keys. Please like this feed. Please share it. And also the replay is available after the show. We also replay the whole broadcast tomorrow at 2 o'clock on the Radio A1A Facebook page. And it's also available on the A1A Media Network YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to that channel. As always, support our social media. That's what makes our show happen. Support Atlas Ocean Voyages and like their page, like my Fantastic pages, like also A1A Media Network, Cruisin' Country Radio, and Radio A1A. It all helps us out. As always, despite thanking our studio audience, we also want to thank our sponsors. Chip Bell, author, the Jake Sullivan series, chipbellauthor.com. Please go to the website to check out Chip's new book. Jim LaPointe, talk to Jim for the best mortgage rates in the Keys. And also check out the music store on RadioA1A.com. Right on the homepage, it's a brand new feature the last couple weeks. And one of our premier sponsors, Atlas Ocean Voyages. Yay! And this is their fourth appearance on the show, and we're glad to have them back. The Health Genie, Dale Clemens, check out the healthgeniesystemchecker.com. And Michael Marinelli, the Real Estate Comp, realestatecomp.com. Love Michael, he's the one that introduced me to the Bug Pub for a broadcast location. And Vic Figueroa, Keys Smartphone Repair. Appreciate our sponsors. As always, support our sponsors and stay tuned from word from our sponsors on our recorded feed right now. Atlas Ocean Voyages offers smaller ships designed for luxe expeditions that extend the reach of adventure travel by sea, with their first ship launching in July 2021. Venture to small villages and remote locations, from the desert city of Petra to the frozen tundra of Antarctica. To experience Atlas Ocean Voyages, call David Hartman, 305-453-9208, Dave at bucketwishtrip.com.
You know, they may be called smartphones, but they are handled by regular folks like you and me. And we break things. Well, no more freaking out about breaking your smartphone, because Keys Smartphone Repair is here. Just click or call KeysSmartphoneRepair.com. That's KeysSmartphoneRepair.com. KeysSmartphoneRepair.com. It's fast, professional smartphone and tablet repair located in Tavernier, mile marker 90. KeysSmartphoneRepair.com. Click it now and save.
The Health Genie System Checker answers 3 important questions when you are feeling ill. What is wrong with me? How ill am I? And where can I receive care? System Checker puts the information and answers at your fingertips with the most advanced triage and healthcare technologies available. Engage on a personal level in your own words to describe your symptoms with no smart trees or drop-down menus that force self-diagnosis. Health Genie System Checker provides an avenue to early healthcare engagement. Hello, David Hartman with Fantastic Endeavors. Fantastic Endeavors is a full-service travel agency based in Key Largo, Florida, specializing in custom individual and group travel. Our luxury travel advisors inspire people to answer 2 questions. What is your bucket list trip? And where do you wish you were right now? Fantastic Endeavors will personally tailor your journey to your needs. We build extraordinary, enriching experiences curated just for you. Call us today at 305-453-9208 or email at dave@bucketwishtrip.com. Enjoy the journey. Thank you all for being here today. It's another beautiful day in the Florida Keys. We are inside for once. We had a little bit of rain when we got here. Of course, the sun's out now, Cathy.
Of course.
And we're going to talk to Cathy for a bit after we give a brief shout out to the Bug Pub and the location that we're at and tell you where we're at today. Go back 2 weeks ago to my either A1A Media Network YouTube or my Facebook feed to see a complete tour of the Rain Barrel Village. We are mile marker 86.7 in Islamorada, and we are here in the beautiful Bug Pub, which is your first left when you walk in the entrance door. There are over 13 independent businesses, mostly artists in this village, and please come support them. I'm an independent travel agent. You guys are independent cruise line, and really appreciate supporting the independent businesses of the Florida Keys. And we also appreciate the Bug Pub for hosting us. These fresh coconuts and this fresh ice cream, cheers!
Cheers!
Are courtesy of the Bug Pub. I got a gorgeous sandwich back here. They have these great pitas going on. That'll be my snack after the show. And they have a sea and salty menu right here. And go to their Facebook page. I believe they have it posted. And Bianca, the proprietress back here at the bar, is mixing some great drinks. Had a mango pina colada before. Hey, Bianca. And then Gary, his lesser half, is back in the shop grilling and cooking and making awesome ice cream. So please come support the Bug Pub and also like their page on Facebook too. And keep in mind, next week I will be at the History of Diving Museum, just a few clicks south of here, mile marker 83 on the Bayside in Islamorada in the beautiful Florida Keys with Lisa Mangi, if you know her close. We will be doing a complete tour of the museum, going back to a roving show, and we're going to talk about the Alligator Light Swim, which is not happening, but they're holding events around that. So check out that next week, 5 o'clock on Sundays. Please note the new show time. It's not an error. We are now on at Sunday afternoons and replayed on Mondays. All right. Cathy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
I hate to say they saved the best for last, but to have someone...
I mean, you're right, though. You're right. Don't tell Alberta.
I mean, Brandon right here, June 8th. It was only our second show from leaving my little hovel, my office, because June 1st the Keys open. And then, obviously, Alicia Logan came down the July 17th show, I believe it was. That was at the Conch House. And then Alaberte, got it right again, is also at the Conch House. And those were a lot of fun. But I was really excited when I heard about you or Michelle may come down. I know Cathy from a previous host company and a travel agency. As you all know, I own a travel agency. That's why I do the show. And I was part of a brand that was called The Host as a structure, and she was with the headquarters. And so was my friend Michelle, who introduced me to Atlas Ocean Voyages. So I appreciate that the good talent has moved on.
Yay.
And one thing I told Brandon was I really appreciated what Atlas had done with their talent. You're a new cruise line, but you recruited some very talented people. Brandon is sharp as they can be, especially when it comes to webinars and his background. Alicia Logan has history. You guys history with the previous host company. And Alberto, come on. I mean, he's just awesome. His background is incredible. So it's a new company, as we talked about before, but it has an amazing pedigree of people.
It does.
So with Atlas Ocean Voyages, the setup today is with each host we had a different topic. And then we always end with talking about my cruise, which I planned it myself. the Antarctic Solar Eclipse Cruise at the end of November, early December of next year. But we are first going to talk about the ship, so stay tuned. Then we're going to talk about the Caribbean. There are a few cruises. If you didn't want to travel down to South America or travel to Europe for bucket list Mediterranean or travel to Chernobyl, you can actually stay closer to home and do a few cruises. We'll talk about that. And then we'll end talking about the Antarctica cruise, which is, I've been promoting pretty heavily because I am going on that cruise. I really believe in the product. And as always, I appreciate you guys sponsoring the show.
For sure.
So as always with all of our guests, tell us how you got to the business of cruising and how you ended up at Atlas and why are you here today?
Well, that's a fun topic. Yeah. I like to say I kind of grew up on board cruise ships.
Yeah.
I was an only child. My parents loved to cruise. So at the age of 7, I took my very first cruise, and it's been in my blood ever since. I actually started my career on board ships, so I worked on board for 5 years. I've always, for the past 23 years, have been in the cruise industry in some way, shape, or form, whether it's been on the travel agency side or the retail side, supplier side, or even the onboard operations and revenue side as well. So I'm pretty well rounded when it comes to this industry, which is great. But Atlas Ocean Voyages, this opportunity kind of popped up just recently, and it was amazing. I was connected. I've known Brandon and Michelle and some other people for quite a long time, and so it was really nice to be able to come into something super exciting, new, and watch it kind of build from the ground up. And I can't tell you how excited I am about the products and the itineraries and just small ship cruising in general, which I think is going to come back in a really big way. So it's very exciting to be at Atlas.
Well, it's nice that you said you grew up in the cruise industry and that you stayed with a to me, a phenomenal company.
For sure.
And if you heard the show, the August 17th, though, check that out. By the way, all my shows you can find on the A1A Media Network. Better than going back in my live feed. These are posted every Monday to YouTube, the A1A Media Network. I have my own playlist, Enjoy the Journey. We're also on podcast. I have my own show podcast now, Enjoy the Journey. And you can see every show we've done. Go back to August 17th. Alberta will talk about the company. Mm-hmm. Like the company, they are shipbuilders.
Correct.
And they have these stalls available so that, hey, we'll just build a ship. Why not? And I like the fact that there is some pedigree for this line of ships, because Uncruise Adventures is chartered one of the boats. Mm-hmm. And the World Navigator is now being built. And the exciting news, funny was, I was clairvoyant. Last week I announced she's ready for sea trials. Pure guess, by the way. Sure enough.
Yeah, she floated out last week. Yeah,
she
World
floated
Navigator.
out last week.
Beautiful. Yeah, it was really exciting for us.
I'll repost that on Fantastic Endeavors. I saw it on the Atlas Travel Asia page, which none of you guys can see just for travel agents. It was pretty cool. She's all brown, still kind of rust-colored, and that's how they do sea trials. They literally build the ship at sea once you come to a certain point. But she is now sitting in the water.
She is. Yeah. She is, and she's really, it's exciting. She looks like a ship. She's ready to go. She's floating, so I think that's a huge mile marker for the shipbuilding world as well. So it won't be long till she's ready. She's due to be delivered in July of next year. So.
July of next year. And so let's talk about the World Navigator. The Atlas is starting with one ship.
Correct.
A very small ship, maybe 196 guests.
Correct.
And a lot of crew. What's the ratio again?
It's 1 to 1.4 crew to guest ratio. Not that we split people into 1.4, but that's the crew ratio there. But we she is just under 10,000 tons, and this is the first in a series of 5 that we'll have. So 2021, the summer of 2021 is when World Navigator debuts, and then we'll have 2 ships in 22 and 2 in 23, all sisters, so all of the same appointments and same standard ship,
nice.
But we'll be going a lot of different places. So
very good. So 5 ships by what year?
By 23.
Okay, well, that's
right around the corner.
Pretty impressive. Oh, it's melting. My ice cream is melting. All part of the fun.
You can go ahead.
No, it's okay. We will take a drink break.
Let's do
cheers to the World Navigator.
Yes.
The new ship launching next July is already in the water. Not ready for sea trials, but she's floating.
She's close. She's close. Cheers.
Fresh coconut here at the Bug Pub. Gotta love it.
Good.
I think we're okay leaving these here. We're good. Leave them here. Definitely have to get rid of the ice cream.
Aww.
I tried to get a snack before you guys went live. It didn't quite work out. That's all right. Can you grab a napkin for that? By the way, during today at some point, we are on a Steadicam, so the weather's improved, and while we're talking, we're going to have Bonnie, the producer, kind of show you the courtyard and show you around the bar. And she actually, when we take a break, when we just hear chat, she can kind of do revolving around with the Steadicam. But we're excited about the World Navigator. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. It's fine. Yeah. Can't mess with the sunglasses.
No. Important stuff.
Yeah. Let me put this down on the floor. Pardon us, folks. We're taking a Sunday break. Put this down here for now. Actually, can you just give that to her? Probably have to throw it out. My bad. Oh, well. One more sip of coconut. Well, cheers, the World Navigator. What I like about the ship is it's, and Alberto and I talked about this at length, but it's truly a luxury ship. If you want to see pictures of the World Navigator, go to the website, atlasoceanvoyages.com. Is where you find it. They also have a Facebook page. Please like that page, Atlas Ocean Voyages. And there are some pictures on the Facebook page, but probably the website's best to find pictures.
Website's better, and it was just updated with some new renderings as well of all of the staterooms in the different categories. But we're kind of releasing new and little dribs and drabs and pieces of some exciting things that are coming. So I always look forward to what the next new announcement's going to be. We just announced our new propulsion system, which is really cool.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's very cool.
And we'll have anchorless positioning. So we're a green ship. So we are able to travel to places and really not disturb any of the marine wildlife there while we're sailing. So we're releasing little bits and pieces of our ship as we come, just to have some new exciting things to tell.
Yeah, Harry Harrison Lou, who I've been introduced to for Alberto's visit, and he has done a great job with the PR team. Mm-hmm. And they actually approved the ad I created that I run on this show. And those who watch this recorded, the ad will run during the beginning and after the show, so check that out. Nice. What turned me on to Atlas, besides Michelle, we love Michelle, right? Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Wish you were here. So Michelle, I also know from the same company that Cathy worked for 2 years ago now, pretty much. 2 years. That's when I left. Was the ship. That's what first attracted me. Like, okay, another luxury ship. Okay, whoa, wait a minute. And I remember trying to find an Antarctica cruise for a client who likes to do luxury, and I couldn't find one that had the proper hull to actually do landings.
Right.
So when I heard this had the Class 6 icebreaker hull, and luxury said, I already got clients that'd be interested in this. Then I heard about the itineraries. But it all started with the ship, and you have to have good hardware.
Oh, for
As you know, you came from cruising. You have to have the hardware.
Absolutely.
And it's fortunate for you guys that you can develop this hardware to meet all the new regulations and existing regulations that are now required of what's going on in the world.
For sure.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you have time to put everything together. And she does launch in July. Next year in Malta, right?
Correct. Yep. July 17th.
July 17th. Very good. And what cruise is that?
That's going to be Malta to Athens. So that's our first Mediterranean cruise that we're going to do there. We'll do the Aegean Sea and the Black Sea. Then we'll do some in the Holy Land. And then we'll do some Western Med before we do our transatlantic, which will bring us into the Caribbean. We'll do a few of those. We'll come down the eastern coast of South America, end up in Ushuaia in Argentina to kick off our Antarctica expedition season.
That's right. You're going to go right on through.
Yep.
And you can ride them back to back to back. Do your own mini world cruise.
You can. I would love to sign up for that.
I have clients that do that. They'll ride back to back, They'll do all Caribbean back to back, but they'll also go like Crazy Lake back to back. When you have one ship for a new cruise line, they're not doing, a 7-night Caribbean round trip Miami. They're doing continuous, unique itineraries. So when you look at their website, atlasoceanvoyages.com, take note of the itineraries. So if you want to catch something, it's kind of like set date departures. So you have to kind of find one that fits your preferences, but also fits your dates of travel. And what's nice about them is that if you don't catch them this year, you have next year.
For sure.
Or 2022. Then you have more ships, so some of the popular itineraries will be repeated.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
But I'm excited about the World Navigator launching July 17th. She has just been floated out from dry dock where they first built her, and she's looking beautiful already.
She is.
So some news publication online put a picture of her in some village. I'm like, I don't think she's that ready.
Not quite. Yeah. They're probably using a sister ship, the World Explorer, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think there's some superimposing going on there. Instead of some World Navigator on the side.
That too. But I think what's super exciting for me about this new cruise line is the fact that we're kind of occupying a space that's not really occupied at the moment in the cruise industry, and that is Luxe Adventure is what we call it. We play in the luxury space and we play in the expedition space, so we kind of married the two, and I think that was a brilliant move on the part of our owner of our CEO of our parent company and our president of Atlas Ocean Voyages, Alberto, because it's a really unique place to be where people want to go and explore, people want to see something new, they really want to be in touch with the destinations they visit, but at the same time, they want some of the finer things, they want to come back on board and let their hair down, talk about their experiences that they had, enjoy themselves, but with a lot of the appointments and amenities that you can expect on board a luxury vessel. So it's super exciting to be a part of that.
It's like you guys had a priority system when you made the ship, and I like the fact that luxury first, and it came together.
For sure.
So, and we talked about in the previous shows is that you have a luxury product that you don't really have to leave the ship have a good cruise.
Sure.
But then you have some just amazing itineraries. What I like about smaller ships, and I said it before, I'll say it again, is you hit ports you don't normally see.
Right.
And there's two factors there. It's the unique port, but also there's not a lot of competition at the dock, usually no competition.
Correct.
For shore excursions, for clearing customs, for getting on and off. I mean, I've been at some cruise lines, Nassau, where you have like literally 10,000 people getting off at the same time.
Sure.
Trying to get on shore. It's fun, but it's a different type of fun.
Completely different experience.
Yeah.
It's not your typical, obviously, mass market or premium cruise experience, and it's not even your typical luxury experience because of the size of our ships.
Yeah.
And like you said, we'll be able to, because we're small, we can get in and navigate to different places, and like even on our one of our Caribbean itineraries, and then when we go down to South America, we're small enough to get into the mouth of the Amazon, which is really cool. So some really unique and exciting things, and I think we're looking to attract people who want to not just visit these ports, but also make some really cool and unique, maybe some really tremendous memories when they get into some of these ports of call as well. So we want to make sure that everybody is able to enjoy what they're doing and actually experiencing unique things. So we're actually going to have a bunch of optional shore excursions there. Some will be mild, some will be moderate, some will be vigorous. And by vigorous, we mean fun stuff like hang gliding and skydiving and getting on a paddleboard with glaciers in Antarctica. So if that's on the vigorous side for you and you're excited about that, then come join us. We'll also have, obviously, for those who are maybe not that physically adventurous, but adventurous in spirit, we'll have some other things for everyone to do, including city tours and some unique destinations to experience and cultural experiences and some culinary things. So quite a lot of things to do.
It's an amazing cruise ship, World Navigator, launching July 17th. We are here at the Bug Pub in Islamorada with Atlas Ocean Voyages, Cathy Kusama, Regional Sales Director East, which covers the whole eastern region.
Correct.
I guess
Of the
your
US.
official title is Mid-East, Northeast, Southeast.
Yep.
Covers the Florida Keys.
Yep.
And we're here at the Bug Pub on the Enjoy the Journey Luxury Travel Show. Thank you for joining us today. Stay with us for a little longer. We're going to be talking about more of their itineraries in the Caribbean, and then also talking about cruise I'm really putting my reputation behind, and I'm going on myself, which is the total solar eclipse cruise, Antarctica. It's just such a unique combination. So let's talk about Caribbean as we transition over. We talked about the ship. Check it out on Atlas Ocean Voyages, the World Navigator. Let's talk about, it does come a little closer to home. There are two itineraries we call Caribbean.
Two that will include the Caribbean. So one that starts off, it's actually our transatlantic cruise, so it's connecting the European experience with the Caribbean experience. So it'll leave October 4th from Lisbon, Portugal. It'll make a couple of stops along the way, including the Canary Islands, and make her way across the Atlantic, stopping in St. Lucia before ending the cruise in Barbados. So for those who are really interested in experiencing the luxury experience on board, this is a great cruise because it has a lot of sea days because it is a transatlantic crossing, but it ends up in a great destination in Barbados. So that's the first cruise. We're normally a very port-intensive itinerary or cruise line, but of course to get over, we'll make a couple of stops on the way. So we'll stop in Funchal and then in Tenerife on our way over.
Tenerife's amazing. I sent a client there 2 years ago, so I had to research the destination. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing island. So it's part of the Canary Islands. Sure. It's not active volcano, but a volcanic island. And if you love adventure, that is the island to go to. Plus it has the kind of like Ibiza type culture going on too.
Yes, for sure. It's
has
very,
a kind of fun Spanish atmosphere.
Yes, very hip.
It is a neat place. So this takes both. So this itinerary is more about the ship in some ways because you spend so much time on board.
It is.
And that's why the fact that there are a lot of expedition ships out there, and I'd say it's a pretty rugged experience. This is a luxury experience, but it can go to some pretty crazy places. And by the way, as we enter the Caribbean, a cheers to the Caribbean with our coconuts.
Cheers.
Fresh coconuts from the Bug Pub.
We love Caribbean.
And it is nice in your first year that you do kind of almost go around the world with this ship. And you give a taste of different places, but you also come close to home. You're based the company's based in Fort Lauderdale
Yes.
or Coral Springs area?
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. So it's nice that you guys come through by the Caribbean. And so you do the transatlantic, come across. You hit St. Lucia and Barbados. Barbados, the home of Rihanna.
That's right.
For all you young folk watching. And then what next? What's the next itinerary?
Next
Well,
itinerary.
actually, hold on. The name of that one is Connecting European and Caribbean
That was
Islands.
the first one, yeah.
That was the first one, okay.
Yep.
The next one is called Exploring Exotic Caribbean and
And
Amazon.
Amazon.
Oh,
Yep.
boy.
So this one actually departs Barbados, like where we ended up, on October the 19th. And then it's going to take us through some smaller Caribbean islands. So we'll stop in Devil's Island there, and then we'll make our way around, and we'll go to Tobago, and then we'll stop in. And we're going to start our South American journey on that actual itinerary. So we'll stop in Belém and also in Natal, and then we'll end up in Recife. But the beautiful part about that is that we're able to actually get into the mouth of the Amazon there, which is really cool opportunity because we're small. We're able to get in there and just explore around a little bit that other larger ships aren't able to do. So we'll actually end in Recife, and then we have a couple of other cruises that'll go down the eastern coast of South America as well that are super exciting. But again, gives people a chance who want to maybe not go so far from home to experience some Caribbean islands, a little bit of taste of a South America, and then go back home and maybe join us again for a different itinerary.
Plenty of good music destinations going on in this itinerary because Caribbean music is, obviously, thank you all the listeners of Radio A1A and Cruising Country Radio. They're big about tropical rock, tropical Americana. It kind of fits into that Caribbean vibe. So very tropical music theme in these destinations. I like the fact you're going to Tobago. I've been to Tobago. I've been diving in Tobago with Peter Hughes, a famous dive boat operator who's from there. And it's a great little town.
Yeah.
Amazing, crazy diving. And then all these destinations are great. But to hit like Caribbean, Bridgetown, and then traditional Caribbean destinations, then hit the Amazon, the same itinerary, you're kind of seeing your traditional cruise side, but then your adventure side in the same itinerary.
For sure.
So this is a good starter itinerary to me for someone that is not ready for something unique or something too far from home, not ready for Antarctica possibly, although come on, Antarctica.
I know.
And then this is one I looked at that I'd like to do because I've not been to the Amazon. Love to see Barbados again, love to see Tobago again.
Sure.
And it's a really unique itinerary. So,
No, I think it'll be great.
Now, do you have a favorite destination of any of these itineraries, or?
I mean, I love the Caribbean personally, so Barbados and St. Lucia are close to home, but I do really enjoy them. But I'm looking forward to maybe hopping on board and checking out the Amazon myself, since that's on the bucket list. So definitely looks like a fun place to go and to check one off. So.
And I am a bucket list travel agent expert, keep in mind. It's on my business card. And as you heard, bucket wish trip is my combination of where you wish you want to be and your bucket list, and that's what I'm all about. And that's why I partnered with Atlas, because to me, they are doing bucket wish trip itineraries. Places you wish you were right now, places on your bucket list, combining that in the same itinerary. I wish I was in Bridgetown right now. I've been there before. Wish I was in Tobago, but then Amazon's on my bucket list too.
For sure.
Love to just check out the piranha. Just kidding. Now, they're hitting some rich wildlife, some rich culture. Again, for our tropical Americana audience out there, some rich culture, musical destinations. A lot of the guys in the channels do, I first found them through music cruises. Shout out to Dom Lee Carpenter, organizer of cruise from this year. Got canceled, we know why, but it was fun organizing it. And a lot of them will do the smaller sailboats in the Leeward Islands and hit, maybe not Tobago, but Grenada and all there. So our audience listening on the audio feed and on the Radio A1A know all about these destinations.
Nice.
The
smaller ports.
Lesser Antilles, Windward Islands itinerary. So I like that.
Very nice.
And so those are the two. From there, from Brazil, the ship goes further south?
It does. It'll do 2 more itineraries that will take you down the eastern coast of South America. So it'll go from Recife. It'll hit Buenos Aires, which is really nice. It'll go...
Carnival!
Yay! It'll actually do an overnight.
Oh, that's actually Rio.
Right. And then it'll head on down, and eventually the second leg of that journey, or the second cruise, will actually make a stop, which, funny enough, we've had a lot of requests for. A lot of port collectors or destination collectors. I'm sure you have a lot of clients that are interested in that. They actually stop in the Falkland Islands on the way down to Ushuaia, and we end in Ushuaia in Argentina, and that's when we start and take over for the Antarctica cruises.
So I stumped Alicia Logan on this one. She was on in July. So what is the actual local name for the Falkland Islands?
Oh, the local name for
what
the
they
Falkland.
call the Spanish name that they call the Falkland. Falklands is our Americanized name.
I know it's Port Stanley, but I don't know what the local name would be.
Look it up. It's the Malvinas Islands.
Malvinas.
I learned that in freshman year political science class.
Look at you, and it stuck with you. Look at that. That's amazing.
Yeah, my memory's
Testament
great.
to school,
my memory's
people.
great, except my memory's great, Oscar, except when I actually need it. So they have two Caribbean itineraries before we transition on to a little coconut break. So they have the connecting European and Caribbean islands. You go mostly a transatlantic cruise, I would say. But keep in mind the ports on this to start. Tenerife is way up there. You're in Portugal, in Madeira, Portugal. Fantastic. Days at sea to really enjoy the ship, a lug ship with only less than 200 people on board. Plenty of social distancing going on. And then you're hitting St. Lucia and Bridgetown, Barbados, which are just traditional Eastern Caribbean, deeper Caribbean cruise destinations.
Southern
Southern Caribbean, Southern Caribbean, yeah. And then they go on to explore an exotic Caribbean in the Amazon, and that's your mix of old school Caribbean and kind of new age adventure. I like that itinerary quite a bit. Plus, get to hang with Peter Hughes and Tobago again. And, I mean, this is some great stops on here, and then obviously ending in the Amazon. And then from there, you can ride back to back and go all the way to Ushuaia and meet me in Ushuaia for Antarctica cruise.
I love that idea. I think that sounds great.
So I do want to check on our questions real quick before we move on and change over. I do want to thank the Bug Pub for hosting us. A big coconut toast to the Bug Pub and the Caribbean destinations we just featured. They do serve fresh coconuts here. There's actually a bin outside. And you ready for to show them around a little bit while we talk?
Sure.
Yeah. So our producer Bonnie's going to give you a tour. We'll still be connected by mic, ideally. If we go silent, stay tuned. And Bonnie's on our Steadicam, and she's going to give you a little tour as we're transitioning over. I do want to give our sponsors a shout out again. Please support them. I do want to give the Bug Pub and the Rain Barrel Village. We are at mile marker 87.6. And then we are here at the Rain Barrel Village, 13 independent artists, artisans, and they're all independent businesses. So she can still hear us. We're still live.
All right.
And then I have the chat here, so please, again, like what we're doing, like it, share it. And I want to get the feedback going again. I'm not on camera. Ah!
Woohoo!
We're going crazy in here. The real alcohol has now come out. You guys are missing it. Well, the Bug Pub is a new addition. So I've been there before. There's no pub there. This was a gift shop a year ago. Well, it was vacant a year ago. They have a takeout window. Go to my feed from 2 weeks ago on the A1 Media Network and check out. I did a whole tour of the whole place. Betsy the Lobster's out front, a 100,000-pound lobster, a great photo op. Please check that out. And also support Village in here. The Village is open from 9 to 5, but the Rain Garden, which is Bianca's parents' gift shop, you walk through to get to anywhere. And then take a quick left, and that's the Bug Pub. The Bug Pub, it's small inside where we're at today, but it's gorgeous in here. Isn't it unique in here?
It's so cute.
Very cheesy. But as Bonnie's showing you right now, the courtyard is huge. I'm trying to see what she's showing you, but I'm getting my feet up. Oh, she actually went for a walk.
Okay.
Walking right there right now. So she went right by the takeout window. There's the lawn jockey, customized by Amy's Creation. Shout out to Amy, one of the artists I featured on my show previously, and that is here. And here's all our comments and people loving the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Mom's on. Hey, Mom. Oh, Everett, who's thinking about the Antarctica cruise out St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Not this year.
It's not on this itinerary, but don't worry. We have more ships coming out. And
So I'm kind of watching the feed now on live delay a little bit, but they just showed you the Bug Pub, the old classic car out front. I'm going to show you Betsy in a second.
oh, there's
What we hope you can still hear us when she's watching our audio feed. Some great viewers on you. Thank you for being here, guys. As always, like this and share it and support our social media. Go to their website, atlasoceanvoyages.com. And obviously, to contact about anything we talked about today, anything in travel involving Atlas, I'm the primary contact. 305-453-9208. Dave@bucketwishtrip.com. And keep in mind, bucketwishtrip.com, right in the homepage is a link to all the information on the cruise that we're going to talk about next. You're doing good, right at 5:30, ready to transition over. And this is our kind of like station identification ID, catching up on people joining today. And giving you guys a quick tour of Rain Barrel Village. And taking a quick break from you guys watching us. We'll do a coconut cheers to ourselves. And somehow Cathy's daughter's here watching. We lost her too.
She's out front. She was just on camera. There she
There
is.
she is. Hey. We actually, when we started today's show, we had a studio audience. All these people were filming us. It was great.
It was awesome.
Felt like rock stars.
I know.
Thanks, Randy. Randy Myers, great show. Everett McCaskey's waiting for the Grenadines itineraries. Everett, I've done the Grenadines. I've actually, with Peter Hughes on his dive boat, I sailed from Grenada, dove Grenada, and dove all the way up till you could see St. Vincent.
Yep.
And even dove Beckway and little towns, and went to Basil's and Mystique, where all the rich people hang out.
Yeah, oh wow.
But in that realm is Barbados, and that's a wonderful part of their Caribbean itinerary.
You know, Atlas is still working on our itineraries. Right now, our itineraries are released through March of 2022 for World Navigator.
So a lot of itineraries come. This is all about business development. This is all about customer research. And this is a great, my social media is great research. So please, in the feed, tell us what Everett just said. He wants to St. Vincent's and Grenadines.
For sure.
Bonnie's coming back. The feed may get a little pixelated, guys. We're doing a tour. Just stick with us. We're still here. She just showed you part Rain Barrel Village, and now she's coming back in and going to show you back to the Bug Pub, and we'll get back to the show and talk about Antarctica. There's our producer coming back. Hey. Wow, there's very little delay going on today. So again, please like this and share it. We are at the Bug Pub in Islamorada, Rain Barrel Village, the beautiful Florida Keys, mile marker 87.6 on the Bayside.
Ask
There's
for the
Bianca.
coconuts.
Ask for the coconuts.
They're so good.
Ask Bianca to mix you a mango pina colada. They also have it's wine and beer only, but she can mix drinks. No shots of booze. And then check out the one of 13 artisans here in gift shops in the village. It's hey, we're back. Hey.
Yay, we made it.
We were going crazy while you guys were doing the tour. So the first thing you saw was their courtyard part of Bug Pub. Then we showed you the front, their takeout window, and the Betsy, the Big Lobster. When you see Betsy, pull left. There's parking in back. There's parking out front. And then she walked you through straight back. You can see the many gift shops in back. You checked it out today, first time, right?
Yeah, it was
so what'd you
awesome.
think?
Super,
Honest.
No, super cute.
Well, you don't have to hold
really-
back for her. She doesn't care.
No, it's super cute. It was really fun.
Yeah.
My daughter and I were walking around, poking around, and there's lots of really cute, unique items that you can find in the gift shops here. And I mean, I love the fact that, first of all, Betsy has a name out front. You can't miss her. But yeah, really fun spot to stop and spend some time.
Betsy, according to some stat on social media, is the second most Instagrammable spot in the Florida Keys,
Really?
behind the southernmost point, which is,
Behind you.
I think it's on the wall, so right here.
Yeah.
I stole it. No, that's just an artist rendition. But that's that big buoy in Key West, obviously,
Yeah.
which is everyone's favorite spot. But yeah, Betsy is a major landmark. That was actually commissioned for the Montessori school next door, Treasure Island.
Okay.
And over the years, somehow it got put over here. Supposedly it cost like $100,000,
Wow.
probably. But it's a great
girl.
landmark for this place. And I do my show from here because, to me, it's just a total Keysy location. And I love supporting local businesses.
For sure.
And it's a fantastic. Appreciate you guys coming down today. So again, in the feed, we have a new theme for you guys. Please put in where you want to see Atlas go next. The Voyager right now, the World Navigator right now is planned out how far?
Through March of 2022. We have
Okay.
published itineraries from July when she's launched in Europe through July of next year of 21 through March of 22.
Okay, so not that far out
No.
in cruising terms.
And it's coming.
Yeah.
We keep asking, and I know that we're working really hard in our office and in Portugal, kind of figuring out what our next move is going to be for World Navigator, and then also announcing what our next ships are going to be doing too.
So I convinced Cathy and I had to speak with Alberto. Actually, I did, but we will take your feedback and forward it to the cruise line.
For sure.
So please tell us, Everett. Thank you, Everett McCaskey from San Antonio, Texas. Everett actually mostly lived in Hawaii recently. Actually, I got certified with Everett as an instructor years ago.
Oh, wow.
And he's
Cool.
one of my best cruise travel customers. He's fantastic.
Well, hi.
And he would love to sail St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So someone come on, outdo Everett's selection of where you want to see them go. Now, with one ship traveling around the world, it's not easy to do a lot of Caribbean, although you worked in 2 itineraries this time. But they're having more ships. And so they're taking feedback, and obviously as the most popular ones in this one, I talked to Alberto about Chernobyl and the Black Sea itineraries.
Right.
I expect that to come back, especially as you have more
I
ships.
think it will. There's been a tremendous amount of interest around those itineraries, especially the Black Sea and the Aegean Sea ones right now. So
Exactly.
tremendous.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome back. Another coconut cheer to you guys. Coconuts from the Bug Pub here in Islamorada. Thank you all to Radio A1A and Cruising Country Radio audiences. Appreciate listening. Again, if you're listening, you want to see the tour of a place, want to see where we're broadcasting from, by tomorrow there's a replay on Radio A1A's Facebook page. And also by then on YouTube, A1A Media Network, you'll see an edited version of the show. Will look much nicer by then.
Ooh.
And you can watch the show at your leisure on demand. And keep in mind on Facebook, you can rewind this, watch it from the beginning. But as soon as we finish, it's available, in perpetuity.
Awesome.
So please check it out. Those of you listening on the audio feeds or podcast, please check out the full production of the show, because where we broadcast from is always somewhere unique and beautiful. Please support our local business and support Atlas Ocean Voyages. So we're going to transition. We talked about the ship. We talked about Caribbean itineraries. We talked about our wonderful coconuts. It's now time to transition from Caribbean and farther south. You do South America and you end up in Ushuaia.
Correct.
Ushuaia is a main hop-on port for what?
For Antarctica. So it's the southernmost city in South America.
Okay.
And it's the launching point basically for all things Antarctica in terms of cruising. So in order to get there, that's where we originate, and we'll take you there and go and cruise in some really very amazing waters in our, like you mentioned before, we are a Class 1 polar ship, so we have the reinforced hull and can navigate through the ice. And our ships will be able to make up to 2 landings per day, which not all ships are able to do.
That's huge.
We have 196 guests in warm water, like we talked about before, but in our Antarctica, on our Antarctica voyages, we only fill the ship to 186 guests because we do use some of those staterooms to accommodate our expedition team that comes on board. Because we have quite a lot of experts that will actually be on board, whether they're marine biologists, naturalists, ornithologists that study birds, photographers, geologists. So we'll have a mixture of people on board. Every cruise will be a little bit different and a little unique based on captain's choice. And of course, we're excited for you to sail with us on the November 28th cruise for the solar eclipse, which I think is going to be amazing.
Plenty of time to plan ahead for this one. So the dates of the cruise are November 28th to December 10th, 2021. It's on the World Navigator, the first ship being launched in July from Atlas Ocean Voyages. Go to my webpage to find out more about this, because I have preferred pricing not available publicly.
You do.
Because I'm such a good guy.
And you got in so early. It was amazing. So he's locked in. He's got a great
We were actually honestly
deal.
negotiating sponsorship at the show at the time. I said, I don't care whether or not you sponsor. I'm doing the group, so just FYI. But so it was a nice partnership
For
that we
sure.
had.
Oh, gosh,
For
yeah.
a bucket list expert, a bucket wish trip branded agency, to have Atlas come on board and to see this cruise. And honestly, I should have moved faster. I want to do something on the Black Sea after hearing Alberto speak.
Yeah.
So the cruise ship launches in July, does some bucket list Mediterranean, does the Black Sea, comes
Holy
across.
man.
We just talked about the connecting Europe to Caribbean cruise, does the one to Amazon, the Caribbean, then heads south.
Correct.
We talked about those, and then ends up in Ushuaia. And keep in mind, segments you like can be booked back to back. I have clients that do that. I have
Yes.
clients that spend, like a amount you pay for a car on a cruise.
Right,
They have
right.
that ability, and they love sailing back to back. So
Right.
you get multiple itineraries, and that's the key. Is we end up there at a time of year where it is the weather to go to Antarctica,
Yes.
and that is the launch point of any Antarctica cruise is Ushuaia, because you have to be that far south. And besides Antarctica, multiple landings with experts. Bring some wares, but I guess they supply some hardy clothes.
So we understand that sometimes it's tough to pack, and especially women, we tend to overpack, but we will actually be issuing parkas for every single guest on board for our Antarctica cruises. They're going to be bright green, and we do that for safety reasons. We want to make
Nice.
sure we can see you. But everyone actually gets to keep the parkas as well. So when you're part of the expedition, we'll also give you these large, what we call muck boots, and these boots actually come up to your knees so that you can get off the ships when we do the landings, because they are beach landings, so in the water, so you don't get wet and dirty. But you don't get to keep those, but I don't think you want to keep those. They're not as pretty. But you do get to keep the parkas, and then for suite guests, they get a pair of binoculars for everybody in the stateroom, which is kind of cool. But we'll get you all geared up, and our experts there and our expedition team are going to take care of you start to finish and make sure that we have to follow all the guidelines and regulations, being in a protected area in Antarctica. Sure. But a really cool, unique experience, being able to do that and actually loading from our ship down on deck 3, getting off the platform into the Zodiacs and going ashore. So you're going to have a blast.
Yes, I'm excited. I've never been to Antarctica. I've never been to really deep South America, Ushuaia. Shout out to my friend Giselle from Argentina who loves Ushuaia. I can't wait to see us at it. I'm like,
it's a fun name to say, Ushuaia.
Well, you're from Buenos Aires. Going to Antarctica is like going to the Caribbean.
Right,
We've done all that. And she wants to do like the triangle tour of Argentina after the cruise. I'm like, I'll just spend 3 weeks down there. Why not?
There you go.
We'll see. I haven't planned the whole itinerary yet. I've heard more about different charter flights and opportunities.
Yes.
So we're still looking at that. But the cruise information itself, more details will come over time because we got over a year for this one. A year and 2 months now. BucketWishTrip.com. I have my exclusive pricing posted. I already have clients interested. Everett showed interest with his family. As Harry T asked, are there butlers on board? Thank you, Harry T, for broadcasting to the simulcast today. They have butlers in the suites.
We do. Suite guests will have butler service.
Once you have a butler, you'll never go back. Because I've had a butler 3 times on suites on different cruise
So you're
line ships.
spoiled, is what you're saying.
Because I had big groups on boards, and I got a deal from the cruise line to get them.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Awesome.
You're fully taken care of. So, and the suite guests get free business class air?
They do. So there's a promotion going on right now, so you have to contact Dave for this. But all of our suite guests actually qualify for a free business class air upgrade. And all other stateroom categories will be Economy Plus, but it's only going on to the end of the month. And we will give that
30th.
to you. It's part of your deal too. So
Sure.
we want to make sure that anyone who joins you on that will be able to take advantage of that.
Oh, I appreciate that. So one reason Cathy was scheduled for later in the month, I had her on earlier, even though Alberto was just on, because a lot of the promotions they're doing end September 30th.
Right.
So we're here making it clear that the free air promotion, which applies to all the itineraries, or just
The free air business class upgrade does apply for all the itineraries. It's called our On Your Way promotion. So that's from now until the end of this month.
for suite guests?
For suite guests, or actually Horizon staterooms and above.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, that's good. Because
Yes.
Horizons are pretty affordable. The suites, there's only a few on board, so those are pretty premium, but the Horizon was pretty reasonable.
Yes.
And again, we're talking about a lot of different things with Atlas. Just to remind you from the previous shows, when you look at the price of my website, you may get sticker shock, but think of the exclusive nature of these cruises.
Oh, right.
I mean, I've done cruises where you get this big bill at the end and a lot of shore excursions booked separately. Excursions are included, premium spirits included, food included. I mean, gratuities included.
Standard Wi-Fi is included as well, which is important to people these days to stay connected. So.
And Alberto gave us stamp approval. He wants me to broadcast my show on board.
I think that's a great idea, but only if I can go with you.
Yes.
I feel like that should be a prerequisite. Is that okay, Alberto?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that should be good.
Alberto Aliberte. Tell him I got it right.
But yeah, I think the all-inclusive nature of this, again, it is a luxury line. It is an expedition cruise line, so we are right there on point with any of the others that you would compare to. But again, we are all-inclusive, including your air, which is a huge
the air
huge
all-inclusive.
thing.
So it's right there. That's a few thousand, depending on business
Correct.
class. I know some of the excursions, the luxury excursions, the max excursion we talked about with Alberto on the August 17th show. I mean, those are a few $1,000s type of excursion included in the cruise price. I mean, it's a very inclusive price, and I've done luxury, I've done basic cruises, and that lead-in price of a basic cruise line, and I love those cruises, and there's a great market for that. You don't realize that eventually you're going to pay the same price at the end.
Oh yeah, of course.
Except you're getting the luxury experience of a 196-person ship that's also expedition class.
Well, Atlas wants to make sure that from the time you leave your home and arrive at the airport, that your journey begins there and your experience starts from the airport all the way to the cruise and then back home. And we want to make sure that you don't feel like you have extra charges for this and that, and everything's included. So it's all taken care of ahead of time so you can relax and enjoy your trip. And along with this promotion too, I'm not sure if we mentioned, but for Antarctica, there's a $200 per person as you choose credit, which is something that they could either choose to use that you can pick out some shore excursions to use it toward, or you can use it as a shipboard credit when you get on board. Plus, I'm sure you have other goodies that you have set aside for your people because you take care of them. So.
Besides my presence on board, which is enough, you may get something sitting in your cabin, something special.
Yeah.
I'm known for that. I'm very big on the ease of cruise ship gifting versus hotels. I mean, it's so easy to give gifts for my customers. I love about cruising, and obviously on board we're going to do something very special. And we plan to broadcast. I mean, we don't know the satellite coverage because you haven't sailed there. And I know Harrison's like, whoa. When we first mentioned that, he went all over us like, relax, it's just promotion. I said, obviously, but we can always do a recorded show and then use our multimedia platforms to broadcast this. There's different things we can do. But we're thinking that because of the curvature of the Earth, the satellite will probably be better when we come north to the second half of the itinerary, which we should talk about. So half is in, I would say, crossing the Drake Passage, Antarctica, multiple landings. Yep. What's the second half of the itinerary?
So you'll go into the Shetland Islands there as well.
Okay.
So, and then weather dependent, I believe you're going to go up into... the location where the viewing for the actual solar eclipse is supposed to be the most spectacular from the way. And again, it's all captain's choice. It'll all depend because the weather is variable there, so it can change very quickly. But what captain's choice means is that the captain actually is in contact with all other ship captains, whether they're fishing boats, whether they're other ships sailing with guests on them, and they all communicate and they talk about the weather, they talk about the wildlife, they talk about the glacier calving they've seen to pick out the best location for them to be and the safest.
Yes.
So no two itineraries will ever be the same in Antarctica, which is cool. But then the solar eclipse takes place on December 4th, which makes this itinerary so special and so unique.
That's right. Well, that's the best part for last, is that visiting the Lost Continent, it's on everyone's bucket list. I've had clients that have been everywhere, and I've sold clients to go to Antarctica on different expedition ships and luxury ships. And to do Antarctica and a once in 400-year event, because how rare it is, it's actually going reverse. Most solar eclipses, the moon is moving reverse across the sun. It is unique, and Alberto mentioned that we're going to be in a spot where we're going to get great viewing, the ship's going to stall, scientists on board, professional photographers on board, lectures all included. That to me what made this a home run bucket list trip. I always wish I saw our solar eclipse. Last one here wasn't, 45% coverage wasn't totality. You get 2 minutes of totality. You get to hear the birds chirp. You get to feel like, the world's going for a couple minutes. And then with Antarctica, that's bucket list.
Sure.
It's mine, it's yours, it's everyone's bucket list. And to me, it's a no-brainer. 305-453-9208, dave@bucketlisttrip.com. That's how to reach me about anything about an Atlas today, and especially about this cruise because of my preferred pricing. Love their website, but that pricing there is a little higher. I have the better deal on my website at bucketlisttrip.com. Right on the homepage, click through that, a separate page launches up. Always contact me. I just told you my information. And also you can directly message me on Facebook where you're watching the show today. Appreciate being here on the Enjoy the Journey Luxury Travel Show. We're wrapping up here with Atlas Ocean Voyages, live from the Bug Pub in Rain Barrel Village in Islamorada, mile marker 87.6. In the beautiful Florida Keys. A cheers out to the Bug Pub and Bianca and Gary and all their staff. It was quite in here now. We had a whole studio audience before, and there was people in here all around. They were very busy today. Good for holiday weekend. And Natalia, our new friend, nice to meet you. Natalia's in a band that plays here on Sundays. So in the future, we have our shows here. Keep in mind that we'll have some live music.
Awesome.
It's a precursor to us. It's a preview show. So.
That's awesome.
So, please, in the chat, I saw a few already as we wind down. Give us a recommendation. What's your bucket list trip? And maybe Atlas is going there. Maybe we haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
Or where do you want to go? They have lost the schedule for the World Navigator, and then 4 other ships coming out by 2023. Right. A lot of itineraries to plan, and Alberto said he needs ideas. I'm just kidding. You have a whole staff working on that. But maybe we can sway what they're doing, or maybe I can tell you some things that's not normally known.
Yeah.
And this is a cruise line that has a lot going on. Listen, we know what's happening in travel. I had some sponsors lined up. They all didn't work out because it was obvious. I mean, right now the current cruise lines aren't doing well. Well, and Atlas is planning things out. They're not launched yet. They launch next July, and they're staying the course.
We are. I mean,
your,
I think
your launch has been on the record, on the books now for a long time.
We're in a very unique position. Atlas isn't, everyone says, oh, what a great time to get into the cruise industry. Well, actually, it's been in the works for a while. It wasn't just something that, popped up yesterday, but it has been in the works. But we have been, fortunately, relatively unaffected by what's going on in the world today, with the exception of a few marketing elements here and there that we had to kind of put some pause on. But otherwise, we are in a good place and a good position to be able to introduce a new brand to travelers out there. Everyone's wishing, everybody's putting things down on their dream list right now. And by July of 2021 and beyond, we should be in a much better space. And we will have the latest technology on board. We're following that very closely, and obviously all the latest safety protocols as well, because we definitely want to make sure everybody feels comfortable.
It's all
on board.
about safety.
You'll be the first to sail on board. No one's ever sailed on board our brand new ship. So like we mentioned earlier, she was just floated out last week and is looking great. She's on schedule to arrive and be delivered to us in July of next year. But who knows, she may even be a little bit early. So we'll see. She's on schedule. She's doing great.
Good news. And the big news this week, I predicted it last week, I'm clairvoyant, that she's now ready for sea trials. A little early, but she was floated out. Ships are always obviously built on dry dock, and at some point they are put down a ramp and they're put now, and now she's being built on the water, ready for sea trials soon. So she is on schedule. Atlas is part of a parent brand in Portugal. They're shipbuilders. They have 40 ships out there. You wouldn't know them by their parent company because they're mostly chartered out, but they are one of the biggest river cruise companies. They have a sister ship, third largest in the world. They have a sister ship, the World Navigator. So that template is proven. Correct. With Uncruise Adventures, they're another expedition fleet. Little younger demographic, I would say, not as Lux, but really nice cruise line I've sold before. So this company knows what they're doing, and they've hired great people like Cathy and Michelle, I knew previously, Alicia Logan, Brandon Townsley, Alberto. Their backgrounds are absolutely phenomenal. They are phenomenal products. So AtlasOceanVoyages.com, like their Facebook page, Atlas Ocean Voyages, and anything we talked about today or in previous shows, please contact me, David Hartman, at my travel agency, to learn more about Atlas. Yeah. Before we start closing out, I do want to acknowledge everyone in the chat. Thanks for being here. Acknowledge our audience on RadioA1A and Cruise and Country Radio. I always follow the chat long after the show. I'm on it constantly, watching the show and responding. So if you listen to this on recording or on the audio feed and want to come back, please leave a question or message me directly. I will get back to your chat. Thank you for Everett. I think you have a new destination planner. I think he's early retired.
Oh, all right.
Everett started with St. Vincent. He stopped there.
Okay.
He said New Zealand.
Okay.
The Philippines.
Okay. I'm taking note.
He said Key West. Just kidding. Everett, I don't think they're going to allow cruise ships in Key West anymore. I think that was Joe Weatherby up there. I appreciate everyone being on board. I don't have time to wave to all you guys. Our producer's been waving to you. Shout out to a few of you. I know Harry T's been on the board. Thank you here for participating. Kim Corbin, you're hardly ever on. I've seen a few of you that have been on previous shows with Atlas. Thank you for being here. And Randy, you're very supportive. I appreciate you being down there. Any more locations? Oh, Tasmania.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
I will tell you, I sell a lot of Australia, New Zealand. I have a phenomenal partnership with an Australian land operator based in San Antonio. Speaking of San Antonio, coincidence, Everett. And they don't do cruises. So I pass them some of my land clients out to Australia, and then I do their cruises. So I've sold a lot of Australia and New Zealand. And Tasmania, Hobart, and those ports there, pretty unique. Pretty unique. So New Zealand, Tasmania.
I have a feeling that we are going to go some pretty unique and different destinations all around the world. But as I said, we're still working right now on our itineraries and kind of releasing them in small chunks to kind of give us an idea of where we're going to go next. But we're constantly working on it. And we've had a lot of people put their feedback in on where we're going to go. But keep in mind, all of our ships will be polar-rated ships, so Class 1.
So sister ships.
They will all be identical, so they'll all be able to navigate in different waters as well. So yeah, I think we'll be doing some more cold water cruising and warm water cruising, so a little bit of the best of both for all of itineraries that we're going to have moving forward.
And with many ships to come, many itineraries to plan. So keep the ideas coming. If you listen to this in the recording, I'll gladly forward them all to Cathy. I'll bug her this week with all.
That's fine.
Someone goes, they want to go to Baltimore, Maryland. Can you sail from here? I don't want to sail from ports, guys. So you have to fly for this kind of cruise. But tell me, what's your bucket list trip by cruise? Where would you want to see by cruise ship? I mean, for me, it was always Antarctica. I mean, when I plan client itineraries, I get deeply involved in these custom itineraries. And when I saw the stops, and keep in mind, some Antarctica cruises are just wave by. They just sail by. Some don't land. And some don't have enough time there to find good weather to land, which
most
we
are
talked about.
Most are too large to be able to do a landing. Some can do one landing a day, and then we can do the 2 landings a day plus cruising. So
Sure. But we are here on the Enjoy the Journey Luxury Travel Show, here on Radio A1A and the Media A1A Network, here at the Bug Pub in the Rain Barrel Village in Islamorada, 86.7, the beautiful Florida Keys. Great to have you on again. Before we close out, I'm just going to announce next week's show. Cathy Kusama, Regional Sales Director East for Atlas Ocean Voyages. She got her shirt from Michelle Suarez.
I did, actually. I did. Funny
Michelle,
enough.
wish you could be here. This was our 4th installment of Atlas on Board Sponsorship. I hope we can keep this going. We'll definitely talk about that.
Yep.
I mean, it's great having you guys on the show. It is a perfect marriage for me to have a luxury travel show with a travel agent that specializes in luxury and bucket wish trips that I branded myself, to have you guys on board.
We certainly appreciate your support
and
what you do. And again, we love having experts like you able to sell our products, so we really appreciate that.
And again, I will be on their Antarctic Total Solar Eclipse Cruise, November 28th, December 10th, 2021. I will be on board, leaving round trip Ushuaia, and find out about that at bucketwishtrip.com. Anything from today, 305-453-9208, my direct number. I'm the owner and the agent, so reach me direct, or Dave at bucketwishtrip.com. As always, we thank the Rain Barrel Village in Islamorada. We thank the Bug Pub here for being here. Next few weeks, we're moving around. We will be at Lisa Mangi's Museum, the executive director of the History of Dive Museum, just 3 miles south of here on mile marker 83. And stay tuned, a very special show. Talk to Lisa about some special events involving the alligator swim. And we're going to give you, we've already went and tested the connectivity, a somewhat special tour behind the scenes of the museum after hours, because they close at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock on Sundays, that's my show time. As always, like this, share it, support our social media pages. What makes these things happen is our audiences. So please join us next week at 5 o'clock. And you guys have a fantastic, beautiful Sunday afternoon. Atlas Ocean Voyages offers smaller ships designed for luxe expeditions that extend the reach of adventure travel by sea, with their first ship launching in July 2021. Venture to small villages and remote locations, from the desert city of Petra to the frozen tundra of Antarctica. To experience Atlas Ocean Voyages, call David Hartman, 305-453-9208, Dave at bucketwishtrip.com.
You know, they may be called smartphones, but they are handled by regular folks like you and me. And we break things. Well, no more freaking out about breaking your smartphone, because Keys Smartphone Repair is here. Just click or call keysmartphonerepair.com. That's keysmartphonerepair.com. keysmartphonerepair.com. It's fast, professional smartphone and tablet repair, located in Tavernier, mile marker 90. keysmartphonerepair.com. Click it now and save.
The Health Genie System Checker answers 3 important questions when you are feeling ill. What is wrong with me? How ill am I? and where can I receive care? System Checker puts the information and answers at your fingertips with the most advanced triage and healthcare technologies available. Engage on a personal level in your own words to describe your symptoms with no smart trees or drop-down menus that force self-diagnosis. Health Genie System Checker provides an avenue to early healthcare engagement. Hello, David Hartman with Fantastic Endeavors. Fantastic Endeavors is a full-service travel agency based in Key Largo, Florida, specializing in custom individual and group travel. Our luxury travel advisors inspire people to answer 2 questions. What is your bucket list trip? And where do you wish you were right now? Fantastic Endeavors will personally tailor your journey to your needs. We build extraordinary, enriching experiences curated just for you. Call us today at 305-453-9208 or email at dave@bucketwishtrip.com. Enjoy the journey.
Come on, what are you waiting for? They're serving rum up, it's right next door. There's a party on the sandbar in the Keys. It's been a long